everything else, we are virtual. If you have questions as we go along this evening, please just put them in the chat box. Mrs. Jones is going to monitor the chat for me. As I said a few minutes ago, I'll also be on in this meet from 6:30 to 7:30. If there are any questions or questions specific to you that you would like to stay on, I'll stop recording after this first session. All right, here we go. I'm going to try and fit it all in here. Mrs. Jones, just watch my time. I want to make sure I have at least a few minutes for questions at the end. All right. So tonight's agenda, and I'll put this up again at the end. We have a welcome session, obviously the one you're in. Thanks for coming, even though you didn't have to. We're going to talk about some schedules, essentials, our elementary connections group, the family circles you've been hearing about, and more. Then you have 2 sessions, 6:30 and 7. So if you have multiple students and would like to see both teachers, you can do it that way. They'll also email out their actual presentations. Also from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. in just a rolling meeting. Again, we have our Fuel Special Ed team. The code is Fuel Special Ed. Our essentials, that's music, art, Spanish, and what am I missing? Gym. Those are Fuel Essentials is the code if you want to pop into them. And then our support staff, Mr. George, Mrs. Jones, and Mrs. Malika are going to be there under Fuel Support. So if you'd like to talk to anybody there, that's where you can find them. Again, I'll put this all up at the end. All right. So our one word this year, our one word at Fuel this year is resilience. So if you've been with me the last couple of years, we started our one word 3 years ago. We were grow the first year, thrive the second year. As I'm sure you're all finding out in day 3 of actual full synchronous learning, resilience is going to be a very important word for all of us this year. So this is the thing that we are talking about as a staff, as a school community, as we're all living through this pandemic and social unrest together, that, you know, a big part of who we are as a school community and why we focus so much on the whole child is that we have the ability to work together to bounce back when things are really hard, and to bend but not break. So that's a big theme you're going to hear from me all year long, and the staff as well. We have a bamboo theme too, so I like this image. So far in 2020, what we've done so far these first 2.5 weeks, we really focused the first 2 weeks on communication, relationships, assessment, and equity. It was really important that we get devices into the hands of all of our students. We know there is a digital divide, and we are really, really working towards ending that. So that was a big part of those first 2 weeks. Our slow roll in was to really get students and you comfortable with using this platform, Google Meet, which is the primary content deliverer with our teachers live, and also to build those relationships. That is the foundation of Ferndale Schools, and it's what we really want to highlight and value while we're in virtual learning. Starting this week, you know, you started our full synchronous live schedule. Obviously, there are bumps and valleys, but also there's been some really great moments. I got to get in 3 meetings today, watch some math, and so it's great to see our teachers starting to really get into their strategies and hear the students participating. There will be a few small shifts over time in the next couple of weeks. I've gotten quite a few emails. Well, we're 15 minutes over the time you said, and this is not very clear, and I want everybody to understand, and you're welcome to stay and chat with me. Those schedules were created in August while we were planning, and now that we're in instruction, we have to make small tweaks. We're going to keep it very close to that 3.5 hours a day live, but we have to make small tweaks so that we make sure we're providing the best instructional platform and time for the kids. So I'll be communicating those, but we will be keeping very close to that synchronous schedule that you've been given. The most important schedules are going to be the ones your teachers have on Canvas and that they email each week. Starting next week, they will have every class is also assigned their specific essential class. So if you notice this week, they were just drop-ins. There might have been like 100 kids and it was crazy. They were really just meet and greets and getting the kids used to using a code other than their teacher. and also following a schedule that the teachers created. Next week, your students will all have their set essential schedule that will take them through January 19th. So Mr. Grezik may have gym on Monday at this time, while Mrs. Lusk has it on Tuesday at this time. So the teachers will have that all in Canvas and communicate with the kids, and that will not be changing thereafter. You can also, let me see, what does this mean? Stay online. Oh, yes. We may often, I'm going to say, we may ask your child sometimes to just stay like 5 minutes more live. Maybe they missed something. They were absent the day before. Just like in the classroom when we are in person, if we haven't seen a student for a couple of days, or if we need to just, we need them to read aloud just one more time for us, we may ask your student or a couple of students, hey, I need you to stay back for just a couple of minutes. We're going to finish something out. One of the things I've noticed in just these 3 days is it's really interesting how all the things that happen normally in school are also in some weird way also happening online in the virtual setting. Like, I had to go online with a bunch of 5th graders and remind them that they are not to use the chat inappropriately yesterday. That is a very normal week 3 5th grade behavior, but in the virtual setting. So it's really interesting to see, but do know that sometimes you may ask your child to stay back, especially if they've had to miss a day or something happened or the internet was out. We want to make sure that everybody has equal access to what we've been doing. The other thing that started this week was our learning labs. I'm very proud of our staff that have been coming in for many of our students who receive special education services and other students as well. They do run Monday through Thursdays, 8:30 to 11:30. In my last newsletter, there was a survey form in there. If you felt that your family really might need these labs, we are looking to expand slowly, but to expand opportunities for families who have that need. So where are we going? What do we actually want to achieve this year? This is tough. I'm not going to lie. We are starting though where we always do here at Fuel and in Ferndale, is with safety and belonging and relationships. That's why those first 2 weeks were so important to us, to not jump right into our content, but to grow those relationships with our kids. Doing the meet and greets on the playground and school pictures, it made us feel almost like it was really like school, and it helped us to build those relationships. So we really appreciate you all allowing us that time to get to know the kids and via the screeners as well. What do we really want to achieve educationally? We want students to be inspired, feel connected, and we want an equitable instructional program. And that means making sure that everybody has what they need. So what might that look like is I will be holding some sessions both AM and PM where parents who are really struggling with the platforms can come in socially distanced with masks and get some training from me. One of the things I found is when the kids who we haven't seen in a couple weeks or haven't been able to get online, as soon as they get up here and we can safely show them the programs, we're seeing some big gains. So that's a big push for us as well. I want to remind everybody to have patience and grace with one another. You all, I mean, we have over 70 parents here already. Thank you. You have been incredible for us. I appreciate your feedback and letting me know when things aren't going well, letting me know, and really, not me, I've got tough skin, but letting the teachers know when things are going well. This is the hardest thing. I know I have some educator parents who are here on the call tonight. This is the hardest thing any of us have ever had to do, all of us globally, both health reasons and education reasons and work and parenting and fear and isolation. This is so hard. And for teachers, we have many teachers 20 plus years in education who this is essentially their first year teaching. We've never done this before. And we are building the plane or laying the tracks, all the metaphors you can imagine. So we really do appreciate your patience and grace so far, and your feedback. That is key, and it's going to continue to be key. Where we're going to is, this is a partnership with you. There is no ideal. That if there's anything that I have learned in 2.5 weeks, and last spring, my husband, who is a middle school teacher, and watching our amazing staff here, there is no doing this right way or wrong way or perfect. There's nothing like being in a classroom with children and the nuance that teachers have and those real-time feedbacks. We are going to do it. We are going to do it very well, and we are going to individualize and support your students. But a big question we have to talk through in a PTA and things like that is, what can we achieve together? And I was listening to a podcast today that said that where the speaker was talking about working with families during this time and pandemic learning and virtual learning. And she said, this is really about trying something and seeing if it works, and then saying, okay, to the students and you guys, but really this is upper elementary, like we got to get the feedback from the kids, what worked and what didn't, and then us adjusting and changing. And I need you to go there with me. Like, we have to be able to be flexible, to bend, not break, and to stop doing something when it's not working and to keep doing things better when it is. And that is what we're going to learn from you, but really from your kids over the next few weeks as we are implementing the plan that we put together. All right, that's my visioning. Okay, so I've got 8 minutes left for everything else. So communication, email is vitally important. We're trying to limit, I know you get the district one, and if you have kids in different buildings, so we're trying to limit the reminds to things like, I had to send the one tonight as a reminder so that nobody forgets, because we're so overwhelmed. So we are trying to limit remind, but if you love remind, that is like fast, real-time way to get to your teacher and get to me. We have created grade level groups, so I can start just sending specific things if they only relate to your grade of student. Weekly newsletters are coming from the teachers generally between Friday and Monday. Mine is always Sunday night at 5 p.m. So if you're not getting it, please send me an email. We did catch a few people this week who aren't receiving it. We will do occasional reminder calls, especially myself and Mr. George. The PTA will have flyers and I think events. We're really talking about our family circle, but PTA has their first meeting this coming Tuesday, so we'll learn more about their plans for this year. We'll also be hosting a monthly parent university via Zoom. This month, at the end of the month, one of our parents of our third and fourth grader, Mr. McKeever, is going to offer an internet safety at home class for parents. That'll be both recorded, or you're welcome to come and watch live. And we'll be taking ideas for future parent universities as well. So that is forthcoming. And we know that it's not just teaching our students. We know you are, or your parents are, or your older sibling are teaching the kids too. So please just let me know if certain people need to be somehow added to communications, or ways we can help to make things more clear. I hope I'm trying not to let somebody in the building. Okay. Curriculum and instruction. So tonight, in your teacher sessions, you're going to hear about our online platforms, again, primarily Canvas and Clever, though those platforms do take the kids to other things like Seesaw. They always can access them, though, from the same two places, Canvas and then Clever, for some of the programs that were already embedded there and that the students already knew, so we didn't want to change that on the kids. You'll hear about Envision and Journeys, just like normal. Our social studies and science plans. Our morning meeting, which is twice a week, is still a vital part of our program, and we still have our SEL focus every week. We do have a full-time coach with Playworks again this year. She's hosting virtual recesses every day from 11:45 to 12:45. And then she's also starting next week, both at here and lower. They're going to be kind of alternating. I'll get a schedule out to you guys. We're actually going to have some drop-in recess opportunities outside, live, socially distanced game. The Playworks folks have been trained in safe recess opportunities, so we're going to have some drop-ins just like Lower did last week. I wasn't going to do this slide, but I've had quite a few questions about essentials, so I just want to follow up again to what I said a few slides ago. That students will have one essential per week in music, PE, and art. If you have a fifth grader and you signed up for band and orchestra, they will not have vocal music. They will have band and orchestra twice a week, and that time is not on the synchronous schedule. That is at 12:15 to 12:45. That was very clear in the form. That is when we are going to do our music block for the students. If your students do not sign up for band and orchestra, they will take a vocal music section at that same time. Let's see. Also, they will have their own pages on Clever. That's how the kids will get to their, and via Canvas, that's how they'll get to any lessons that the Essentials teachers task them out for. And Spanish, while we'll have some live drop-in opportunities, the students will be doing most of their work asynchronously on Duolingo. It was highly successful in the spring, so that Senor introduced them to it today, and we'll be rolling out the codes for students to start Spanish work next week. One of the big questions is, do I have to do essentials? So we think art, music, Spanish, PE, that these are important for kids to have that opportunity for joy, some break in the academics. You know, they love them during the normal school year. But if it is overwhelming for your child, for your family, to do multiple meets, or some days you can't make it, we are not going to be tracking attendance in those essential classes. We know how hard this is for everybody. That core instruction is essential. We also think our essentials are essential, but we know that we want to have flexibility. You can also, if your student has to miss the essentials or the times don't work for you during the week, on Fridays when you have no other live instruction, we actually have like 3.5 hours of extra essentials opportunities that may be smaller groups, and that your students are welcome to join in. So you can always keep sending those questions my way, but those are some of the main questions that have come up. And there you go again. Yeah, live office hours each day, and then Friday for games and language practice in Spanish specifically. I'm losing my voice. I don't know how this is possible. Some additional opportunities. I'm going to be sending a kind of a cool flyer out this week with, here are some more extras. Like some of our families, they want no online time, and some of our families want 8:30 to 3:30, keep my kid on the whole day. So we've added some additional opportunities that are completely optional, but we've had like 80 to 90 kids logging in this week. So we have Playworks virtual recess every Monday through Thursday. And the codes, all this will be on the flyer. And then again, we're doing the drop-in recess. And then Mrs. Malika, our K-5 mental health specialist, this is an opportunity if you have a lower student and an upper student, they can actually do this session together at 12:15 every day, Monday through Thursday. The code is Fuel Malika. They do meditation, breathing, music, and I'll be guest starring in yoga too. So we'll have that. And then Friday, again, essential class drop-ins. How am I doing on time? Not very well. Okay. Elementary Connections Group. This is the most important section here. Our Elementary Connections Group, these are our folks who normally run camp. And we're trying to find ways to connect our families. This is the goal of the ECG, the family circles is what we're calling them, is to provide some virtual adult support and some student connections. So our teachers over the next week are going to be dividing our kids up into groups of 4 and 5. And it's not going to be necessarily people that they're always friends with. The goal, and one of the cool things about in-person instruction, is you make friends with people who don't live in your neighborhood, people that you wouldn't know or didn't have in class last year. So the kids are going to be connecting groups of families. Your family can always choose to opt out if you don't want to participate. The coordinators in each class will be contacting everybody once we've made the groups. And really, it's just like a parent support group where you'll have a text thread of 4 or 5 of you and say, what the heck did Mr. Davis mean when he sent that out? Instead of always having to go right to email, you have a little parent support group that can support as well. However, we are still looking for coordinators in Mr. Jonai's class, Ms. Morell's class, and Mr. Williamson's class. Everywhere else we have a coordinator. So if your student is in there and you're interested, it's not a huge labor-intensive workload. You can reach out to the ECG or to me, and I will connect you. All right. Housekeeping. Oh, we're done. Okay. Housekeeping. Communications from NWA. I know many of you attended the town hall last night. The teachers will be communicating when it happens. It's live with the teacher, so if you run into problems, the teacher will help troubleshoot. Do not stress. Also, do not do the test for your student. This is only for instruction. It doesn't do anything for the kid if you help them. So if they have a technology problem and you're able to quick troubleshoot, but they can just go on and ask the teacher, hey, I need help, and we can figure it out. This is literally a diagnostic so that we can do small group instruction that helps your student. So if you help them, we can't help them, okay? We will be alternating where we do reading next week, we take a week off, and then we'll do math. So we are going to take a break so it's not so much. If students finish early while the other kids are testing, we're going to have opportunities for them to head into whatever special they want and go do some fun games. Okay? We're going to do a second materials pickup in October. Our goal is to send the hardcover Journeys books home, and the audio is not working for all our kids. So we'll get those books in hands. Plus, we've got some gifts for our kids every month to keep them connected. Teachers are working on some cool stuff. Finally, if you normally qualify for free and reduced lunch and you haven't done your form this year, please complete it online or drop off to us ASAP. Those forms are essential for our 31A funding at the state level, and those rules have not changed this year. So if you normally fill that out, please do so for me. I have lots up here as well. These are just upcoming dates. Everything is also in the newsletter. This is if you need help. And again, I'm sending this out. I think you're sick of hearing all this from me, but please call me. Please email me. I am here for you. If the help desk is frustrating you, just call me and I will try and figure it out. All right. Last slide here. 6:30 again is your next session, and then 7 o'clock. The teachers will be ending those sessions at 7:30. So if you have burning questions, you'll have to do it via email or remind. And don't forget, if you'd like to see special ed or essentials or support, those are the codes there. And I'm going to put these up in just a moment, the teacher codes for you as well. And then I'll take any questions. Doesn't look like we've had too much chat. And, you know, just again, as I said at the beginning, we really need you. We all need each other, and we appreciate your time, support, your patience, and always, always, always your feedback. So I'm going to put up on the screen while we do the chat questions, the curriculum codes, just so you know where to go if you're not sure. And Miss Jones, go ahead and start shooting the questions at me, please.
All right. The first.
Go ahead. Oh no. Sorry, go ahead. I'll take it over. I can see it. I can't hear you, Miss Jones. The lunch forum says incorrect. I will give you a call. Is there going to be a prize for Kids Read Now completion? Yes, I do have a plan with Mrs. Keefe. We're going to do some fun virtual stuff and prizes. Kids Read Now has not yet sent us the names or the gifts, the free gifts. Those normally come in October. So great question. Town hall meeting rescheduled for 22nd. The NW, are you talking about the NWA meeting, Ms. Foster? I think it is. So that was actually last night. PTA is on the 22nd, but the NWA is posted live. I will email you the link if that's what you're talking about. Okay, great. Stay on with me if you have any other questions. Sorry, Ms. Jones, it cut out right for the chat. I will leave this up, and feel free to stop back in before 7:30 with me and enjoy meeting the teachers.